You've probably heard the word before, gaslighting. It's become one of the most common terms in psychology today. But do you really know what it means? It's more than just lying, more than manipulation. Gaslighting is when someone deliberately tries to make you doubt your own memory, your own perception, your own sanity. And the truth is chilling. Once someone controls your reality, they control you. In this episode, we're going to break down the psychology of gaslighting. You'll hear a story that might sound uncomfortably familiar, learn the science of how manipulators use this tactic, and discover the steps you can take to reclaim your reality if you've ever been caught in this trap. A quick note before we begin. This video is inspired by real psychological research, case studies, and evidence. We've simplified complex ideas into clear stories so they're easier to understand and apply. Please remember, this content is for educational purposes only. It is not therapy, medical, or professional advice. If you're struggling with emotional abuse, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional or local support services. Meet Daniel. He was 34 when he met Julia. She was magnetic, funny, confident, full of life. At first, their relationship was passionate, almost too good to be true. She showered him with compliments, wanted to spend every moment together, and told him he was the best thing that ever happened to her. But slowly, things shifted. One night, Daniel asked why she hadn't called back after saying she would. She smiled and said, "I never promised I'd call." You must have imagined that. He remembered clearly, but she said it so confidently that he questioned himself. Maybe she was right. Weeks later, he noticed her flirting with someone at a party. When he brought it up later, Julia laughed. "You're so paranoid. I was just being nice. Honestly, you sound crazy when you say things like that." Daniel felt a rush of shame. Was he overreacting? Soon, this became a pattern. She would say something cruel, then deny ever saying it. She'd make plans, then claim they never existed. When he got upset, she'd tell him he was too sensitive, that he needed help, that he was the problem. Over time, Daniel began doubting his own memory. He started writing down conversations just to reassure himself he wasn't losing his mind. He felt like the ground beneath him was constantly shifting, and Julia made sure of it. Because as long as Daniel questioned himself, he'd never question her. So what exactly was happening here? Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation, where the abuser tries to make their target doubt their perceptions, memory, or sanity. The term comes from the 1944 movie Gaslight, where a husband manipulates his wife into believing she's insane by dimming the gas lamps in their house, and then denying that the light ever changed. Modern gaslighting works the same way. It's not about one big lie. It's about dozens of small denials, distortions, and contradictions that gradually erode your trust in yourself. Common tactics include denial. "I never said that." Minimization. "You're exaggerating, it wasn't that bad." Projection. "You're the one who's lying, not me." Twisting reality. Taking your words out of context. Reframing events to make you the villain. Over time, these techniques break down your confidence in your own thoughts. And when you don't trust your own mind, you're forced to rely on theirs. So what exactly was happening here? Why it works. The brain under gaslighting. From a neuroscience perspective, gaslighting is devastating. First, it activates chronic stress. Every time your version of reality is challenged, your brain releases cortisol. This creates confusion and mental fog. Second, it creates cognitive dissonance, the uncomfortable clash between what you know and what you're told. To reduce this tension, the brain sometimes chooses the easier path, believing the abuser rather than holding on to its own reality. Third, gaslighting exploits memory's natural weakness. Human memory isn't perfect, it's reconstructive. When someone confidently insists you're wrong, your brain may edit the memory to fit their version. Over time, you literally start to mistrust yourself. Why manipulators gaslight? Why would anyone do this? The answer is control. Gaslighting is a weapon of domination. It's used to break someone down, to make them dependent, to gain power. It often shows up in abusive romantic relationships, but also in workplaces, families, even politics. For narcissists and abusers, gaslighting is a way to maintain superiority. If you doubt yourself, you'll stop questioning them. If you feel unstable, you'll cling to them for stability. If you're confused, you'll become easier to control. Signs you're being gaslit. Psychologists have identified common signs of gaslighting. See if any sound familiar. You constantly second-guess yourself. You apologize all the time, even when you're not sure what you did wrong. You feel like you're too sensitive. You have trouble making decisions without the other person's input. You feel confused or like you're going crazy. You make excuses for the other person's behavior to friends and family. You've started to isolate yourself, believing no one else will understand. These are not coincidences. They are the intended outcomes of gaslighting. Why smart, strong people fall for it. One of the biggest misconceptions is that only weak or naive people get gaslit. The truth is, anyone can fall into this trap. In fact, smart, kind, empathetic people may be more vulnerable because they're willing to question themselves, to see another perspective, to give the benefit of the doubt. Gaslighting thrives on empathy, on self-reflection, on love. That's why it works. The gaslighting cycle. Like abuse, gaslighting often follows a cycle. It starts small. You misheard me. Then it escalates. You always remember things wrong. Eventually it becomes, you're crazy. You can't trust your own mind. And just like intermittent reinforcement in abusive relationships, gaslighters will sometimes switch gears and shower you with affection. I'm only saying this because I care about you. I just want you to be okay. That mix of cruelty and kindness strengthens the trauma bond. You begin to cling even tighter to the person who is dismantling you. The damage of gaslighting isn't just emotional, it's physical. Chronic stress from constant invalidation can lead to anxiety disorders, depression, sleep problems, even weakened immunity. Victims often report brain fog, memory issues, and a sense of emptiness that lingers long after the relationship ends. Why it's so hard to break free. So why don't people just leave? Because by the time they realize what's happening, their self-trust is already eroded. They think, maybe I really am crazy. Maybe no one else would put up with me. Gaslighters also isolate their victims, making them feel like they can't turn to friends or family. The person who caused the pain becomes the only one who can provide relief. It's a cruel paradox, and it keeps people trapped. But here's the truth. You can break free. It starts with small steps to rebuild your trust in yourself. 1. Name it. Call it what it is. Gaslighting. Naming the behavior strips it of power. 2. Document reality. Write down conversations, events, details. A journal becomes your anchor. When doubt creeps in, you have proof. 3. Seek outside perspectives. Talk to trusted friends, family or professionals. They can confirm what's real when your own perception feels shaky. 4. Set boundaries. Decide what you will no longer tolerate. If you deny my reality, I will leave the conversation. 5. Therapy and support. Healing from gaslighting takes time. Trained therapists can help rebuild self-trust and confidence. 6. Rebuild identity. Gaslighting strips you of yourself. Recovery is about reclaiming your worth, your voice, your truth. So ask yourself, have you ever felt like your reality was being rewritten? Like someone was holding the pen to your life story instead of you? Gaslighting is not just about lies. It's about control. It's about power. It's about keeping you small by convincing you that your mind can't be trusted. But here's the truth. You are not crazy. You're not broken. And the moment you begin to trust your own perception again, to stand firm in your truth, you take back the power that was stolen from you. Because when someone controls your reality, they control your life. But when you reclaim your reality, you reclaim yourself.